If you're feeling a little overwhelmed today, anxious, you just feel like, oh my gosh, I just don't know what I'm going to do. I want to just remind you of some things you already know. But these are some things that I do when I'm feeling super overwhelmed. I become very mindful and I begin to pause and stop. And I start to say to myself, quit asking yourself, how in the heck are you going to do all this? And start asking yourself, who? Who is there right now to help me in this? Who has God placed around my life that can help me get through this, or can help me figure this out, or can help do this with me or for me? Mama, you got lots of kids in your house maybe, and those kids should be helping you a lot more. I know in children's ministry, we always focus on children on how to be great sons and daughters, and we teach them about taking the garbage out. And when mama says, make the bed. And then as they begin to start to come week after week, they say, this week I took out the garbage and I smiled and I said, okay, mom, I got right off my game and I went and I did it. And that is a relief to a mama who's trying to do it all, mama. Those of you who are trying to take everything on, maybe some of you are working and you're full-time mamas and you're all these things that are going on. There's people around you. So when we're always in a place of procrastination, place of feeling shut down, I think that those anxious times and procrastination is very healthy, because that's a season of telling you something isn't right. You've taken on too much and you need to start asking yourself, who is around you to help you? I know at Champion Church, we have our pumpkin patch coming up. So instead of saying, how in the world are we going to do it? No, who is around who likes to do this certain thing? Who is around who feels called to this? Who is around? So when you are in those moments, ask yourself, who could help me do this, instead of how in the heck am I going to do all this? Number 2, remember to stay filled up. If you're feeling all those feelings of anxiousness and overwhelmed and you just don't know how you're going to do it, I'm asking you, did you fill yourself up at that season? Filling myself up in the morning is the best time for me, but sometimes for even some of you, it might be in the evening time. So ask yourself, am I staying filled up? And am I worshiping? Am I having time with God? Am I meditating? Am I praying? What am I focusing on good things? Do I have good thoughts going on right now? Like, what is inside of me? Because I always say, when you get squished and pressed and you get pushed in those stressful times and you're feeling overwhelmed, whatever's inside is what's coming out. So if you've got some bad stuff coming out, you might want to examine what's going in. So you just want to pause at that moment and think, I haven't been exercising, I haven't been eating right, I've been drinking my water, I've been doing all these things. And now physically, I just feel so overwhelmed. Once again, what are you filling up on will be coming out of you. So just maybe you need to make a few adjustments with that. And then number 3, I always say, get out in God's creation. Oh my goodness. One year I was working at Jesus is Born. I serve in Jesus is Born and I lead the whole production. And it's hundreds of actors and actresses and media and tech and crew and everything. And thousands of people come every year. And it's a huge pressure because you got to be good, because people will be honest if they like it or not. And it's truly the salvation message, just so beautiful. So you can imagine the pressure and the stress, because, there's an enemy who doesn't want it to happen. That's for sure. And so I always start around this time of the year, start thinking, okay, Jesus is Born is coming up. And one year I was so overwhelmed. We were behind because of some things that were personally going on. I was like, Jesus, I don't know how we're going to do this. I was completely overwhelmed. And I saw a box of solar lights that had arrived. And usually I delegate that, but I'm like, they're sitting there and I'm so overwhelmed right now. I'm just going to take these solar lights and I'm going to start putting them up. The birds were all around. Then our 2 donkeys that are in Jesus is Born, Faith and Hershey, they're going, and I'm out with God's creation. The birds are chirping and Hershey and Faith are crying at me, and everything was so beautiful and serene, and the sky was gorgeous that day. And I'm putting up the little solar lights and I'm going up higher and higher because it's on a slope for the amphitheater. And I was just like, oh my gosh, God his creation just calmed me down. He let me be at peace. It just made me feel all that anxiety left. I looked out at the massive set and I began to see, oh my goodness, we could do this and we're going to do that. And all this creativity came on me and all this relief. So maybe today you need to get out and have a walk. Maybe today you need to exercise. Come on, God, do your squats. You got to take care of yourself. But get out in nature if you can. Do it outside on the grass and get your feeties out in the dirt and let God minister to you a little bit. I'm telling you, there's such power in that. I know these are probably things you already know, but if you're like me and sometimes you get overwhelmed and stressed out, it's so nice to scroll and find somebody just reminding you to stay mindful in the moment. You got those little kids, get down on the floor and play with them. Grandma, you got your grandbabies, get down and just play with them. Do one-on-ones with them. Do things that will refresh your spirit and your soul, and you begin to feel that relief. So we're going to go over really quick. Don't quit asking, how in the heck am I going to do this? And start asking, who in the heck is going to help me? Number 2, stay filled up. Make sure you're taking care of your physical, spiritual, mental self. So that way, when those pressures and stresses come, you can handle them so much better. When you get squeezed, you know what comes out. And then number 3, get out and be with Jesus out in his world, in the world that his Father created. I love you. I want God's very best for you. If you are in Ventura County, you can go to the Arise Conference, ariseconference.com. I will be with Mary Hudson there. I think it's August 17th, 18th, and 19th. I'm so excited. I get to be with them in their beautiful conference with all the Diamond Girls and so many amazing speakers. I would love for you to come and join us if you're in the Los Angeles County area, out in that part of the world. And if you're in Yuma, Arizona, come and be with us on Sunday, 9, 10, 15, and 11:30. Sunday nights, youth at 6. Monday night, celebrate recovery for people with hurts, habits, and hangups. It's not just about alcoholism and drugs, although people are dealing with that. It's also about recovering from grief, recovering from loss, recovering from all kinds of hurts, maybe habits that you've been having in your life. It's beautiful. It's amazing. They love it there. Also, Tuesday night is young adults. Thursday mornings, we start back up with our women's mornings at 10 a.m. So much going on. Pumpkin patch is coming up, and we're just ready to serve Jesus. Our pumpkin patch outreach. It's a huge outreach is going to be happening. We're just so excited. I love you, and I want God's very best for you. Thank you for liking, and thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the hearts, and just thank you for your beautiful messages. They mean so much to me. Mwah.